Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and happy new year, happy 2023, whatever that looks like for you. I hope that you've had time to rest. I hope you've had time to reflect, and I hope you've had time to rejuvenate. I was trying to come up with another R on the top of my head. So I hope in some realm of the holiday season, whatever that looks like for you, you've had some time to just kind of sit with yourself and spend time being grateful and thankful, because there's always something to be grateful and thankful for, even in the craziness of life storms and all of that sort of stuff. So as you can see, I revamped my channel. Music is a little different. My thumbnail's a little bit different, and I'm just trying to get better with this channel. I'm really, really grateful for new subscribers that I've had. And so if you haven't already, please subscribe. And then the bigger thing for me is if it's something that maybe is not for you in this season of your life, but maybe you can think of somebody that this will be beneficial for, please forward it to them, right? Because the goal for me is to help as many people as possible just by sharing from my life experiences, what I know based off of what I'm trained in, sociology, and all the above. So please share with somebody if you feel like it will be beneficial for them. So start of a brand new year, I am starting off with a 3-part series. So my goal is to do this every single week. Life gets busy. I'm about to start a brand new semester. So that's the goal. If not every week, every other week. But this 3-part series really is focused on what my channel is about. And I know I have new subscribers, and I know I've been doing this now for a couple years. And so I want to go back and just really quickly talk about what this channel is about, because what I don't want to happen is there's a lot of content on YouTube. Let's just start there. And I know it's hard to kind of find your niche or to find your space in that. And for me, at the end of the day, I want my channel to be helpful to, I always say at least one person, but the more the better, right? Because we're just in a time and space where we don't help each other anymore, guys. We aren't kind. Y'all hear me say that? And that's like, if I had a gripe about anything, it would be that we need to be better about just being more helpful and kinder. For me, on a personal level, I've always personality trait wise, been an empathetic person, but losing my brother the way I did, I think for me, it magnified that. I worry about people a lot now. I really wonder how people are doing. And if there's just that one thing that can help somebody, then that's the goal for me, is to be able to have information and, tools and practical tips out there that can help somebody. So Fit for Your Purpose originally started as my mentoring group. I had about 8 to 10 young ladies who were former students of mine, and I would invite them over to my house after they were no longer my student. And we would just sit, and I had built a relationship with each of them, and we just had time where we could just sit in the space of, even though they still call me Professor Campbell, I could kind of take my professor hat off for a little while and just talk to them like their friend, or, and just kind of give them some advice and practical tips, tools, whatever, of things that maybe I didn't necessarily get that I would have benefited me. And so Fit for Your Purpose, FFYP, my ladies, my originals know who they are. And so we would have some just really great times of, togetherness, and the topics that I talked about, I just felt like were beneficial for other college students. So then I started my channel. But then I felt like the topics, I had, people on my channel who weren't necessarily students or, in that season of life. So I felt like there were topics that I could share that would help other people as well. So for me, I am very much about purpose and living in your purpose. And I know that I am living in my purpose. And so trying to think of the best word to use, the satisfaction that comes from living in your purpose is something I wish I could just bottle up and share with so many other people. So that is why I have this channel, is to be able to give advice, practical tools, or whatever, just from different things I've gone through, what I've experienced, what I see, what I notice. I am a sociologist, so I'm always on and I'm always paying attention to people. I study people for a living. So there's something in there that can help somebody. I'm very convinced of that. So I'm prayerful that my channel continues to grow and that it's something that can benefit anybody in any season of life. So that is the premise of Fit for Your Purpose. So I thought it would be appropriate to have a topic where I focused on the namesake of my channel. So the next series I'm doing, we're going to talk about being fit in your purpose. Okay. Y'all know me, FIT is an acronym. So each week we're going to tackle each letter. Okay. So being fit, if you want to be fit in your purpose, you need to be focused. If you want to be fit in your purpose, you have to be intentional. And if you want to be fit in your purpose, you have to be teachable. Okay, so that's what we're tackling the next 3 weeks. So this week I'm starting with the F. This video is probably gonna be a little bit longer than the others just because I wanted to take time to explain all of that. So being fit in your purpose. We all were created for something that's going to look very different for every single person, okay? One of the things I teach in my sociology class, in my intro class, is that there's different ways to look at how society is set up, right? And we can look at it functioning with all the moving parts, right? You take away any part, COVID taught us that, right? You take away, doctors, or you take away teachers, or you take away police officers, or you take away jails, or you take away any aspect of society, it's going to cause some dysfunction, right? And we saw that clear as day with COVID. So we identified a lot of our workers as essential workers because they still had to be in the thick of things during COVID, right? And so, but we saw what happens when certain parts of society were taken out, right? And so I'm saying that to say, a little bit of sociology for y'all, that your purpose may look very different than the person next to you or to your mother, or your sister, or your cousin, or your best friend, or whoever, right? You have to uncover what your purpose is. Favor, Professor Campbell. Jaden doesn't really get on my channel, so I don't have to say mom, but how do I figure out what my purpose is? For me, being prayerful is so important, and just really asking God, what is my purpose? Meditating, ruminating, just having some space where it's just you, figure out what you like, what draws you in, what you're good at, all of these things coupled together. We all have gifts. And so it's up. I wish I could say, boom, this is what your gift is and knock it out. It doesn't work that way. You have to put in the work yourself, right? I've talked plenty of times about what my purpose is, so I won't go down that road, but let's get to this F, focus, right? Once you uncover, and as I'm even talking, in order to figure out what your purpose is, you have to be focused. You have to remove yourself at times from the busyness of life if you really want to uncover what your purpose is. I have a necklace that I wear. I had it made myself, and I had it made after my house fire, and I have a scripture on there, 1 Kings 19:12. And the part of the scripture that I have on there says, after the fire came a whisper. I'm sure I've done a video on that, but it's a reminder for me to quiet myself at times, because a lot of times, life is so busy, and we kind of have that analogy with God too, that he's loud and big. And a lot of times it's within those quiet moments is where we have clarity and where we figure things out, right? So moving forward, you have a couple homework assignments to start off the new year. First, I challenge you to create those moments for yourself where it's quiet, where it's still. Life is busy for every single one of us, but if you're not intentional, boom, there's our eye for next week about quieting yourself and figuring out what it is you're here for and what is it you're supposed to do. You need to use that time to focus in that moment. Then, as you start to uncover it, there are going to be parts of your life where, guess what? Again, you're going to have to shut out the noise. I think this is what this topic is really starting to turn into, because life is busy. When I mentor students one-on-one, I often tell them, you got to get to a place where you shut out the noise, right? Noise can be gossip. Noise can be just busyness all the time. Noise can be social media. Y'all know how I feel about that. But life is just, it's loud, right? And if we don't take time to quiet ourselves and to focus on what it is that we want to do, we're going to be chasing that purpose of ours for a very long time. And that's not what we want, right? We want to be able to live our best lives and be the best versions of ourselves. So your big homework assignment for this week, I want you to focus. focus on you, focus on what makes you happy, focus on what you're drawn to, focus on what it is that you're here for. And then once you start to figure that out, you're not going to probably figure it out overnight. Then you got to start focusing on what life is bringing at you and ways that you can take the next step to move forward in your purpose. So focus is where we're starting. This is kind of a basic one. Intentionality, being teachable. I can't wait to get to that one. So I hope something in there helps somebody. Again, I wish you guys a wonderful, wonderful new year. I hope this year is full of wonderful blessings and, just positivity, because life, as we know, it's going to throw stuff our way. So I hope that within all of that, you stop and have time to be able to focus and just, be thankful for all the wonderful things that we have. So have a wonderful week or weekend, and I'll see y'all on the next video.